Welcome to the Unfiltered podcast on a Wednesday. It's been a little while, about a week and a half. I apologize. I haven't been able to do anything much on here. Busy time here in the family. We got Thanksgiving coming up, obviously tomorrow. Working a lot, all that. So I apologize for not doing this show on here for a while. I will say the Earth Speaking podcast has been bumping. It's been crushing. Been busy with that for the last couple weeks anyway. I actually was going to go dark this week. Actually, I was just going to go dark this week, but then I decided not to because things work out. Things did work out. My kid being home from school, because it's kind of hard to record podcasts when my oldest son, who's in kindergarten, is home from school. But I was able to get stuff done. Do a show with Kyle Nash yesterday. I'm able to do the show tonight. Hope to record it tonight. Get my picks in for the week. Gambling picks. We'll have gambling picks for Thanksgiving on this show in a little bit. I'm going to give my power rankings for the week, my top 10, bottom 5 in the NFL this week. It's a little bit of shake on the bottom, not much on the top. Talk about Andrew Luck's campaign, MVP campaign that I launched yesterday on the podcast, because we talk about MVPs, talk about Pat Mahomes, talk about, guys like Drew Brees, and deservedly so in the conversation, but nobody is talking about Andrew Luck, and it's time to start getting that campaign going here. I'm going to do it here on the show. Also, my reactions to college football rankings that just came out this week. This weekend, Thanksgiving weekend, is the last regular season weekend of the college football season. I'm depressed because obviously I love college football. It's been a fascinating year, and we should see some chaos, possibly some chaos this weekend. We'll see what happens with some of these big matchups. Also, my thoughts on the Washington Wizards and why it's time. Well, first of all, it's overdue. They should have won the team about a year or two ago, and my review on Bohemian Rhapsody, the movie that I meant to do last week that I haven't had a chance to do. I'm going to do it today on the show. But let's go to the bottom. Let's go to the power rankings of the week. Power rankings is always the most popular thing here. I do Hunter Speaking media. People on Facebook love it. Yeah, everybody, of course. A lot of people look at it as controversial. I don't know why they think it's controversial. I don't think it's a big deal. It's just rankings. It's just doesn't mean anything. It's just for fun and talk and discussion speak. But bottom 5 first. 28 the Jets, 29 the Bucks, 30 the Niners, 31 the Raiders, and the only reason the Raiders got flipped because they beat the Cardinals. Again, they should have won in the first place, that's for the record. And 32 the Cardinals. Okay, so 28 Jets, 29 Buccaneers, 30 the 49ers, 31 the Raiders, and 32 the Arizona Cardinals. Notice my New York Giants aren't in there. They won 2 in a row. Are they still bad? Yes, but I'm not gonna. For now they're out of the bottom 5. They're out of the cellar, so that's all good. Here are my top 10 in order 1 through 10. In the power rankings. Number 1, the New Orleans Saints. No one's going to argue the New Orleans Saints. Right now, they are by far the best team in football. They have wins over the Rams already, so they've done their job. Drew Brees right now is, in my opinion, the MVP leader in the race. Although, like I said, we'll discuss other candidates that may have a case to be made for themselves. 2, the Rams. Big win against the Chiefs on Monday Night Football in that classic Monday night game. Now, I will say this much. That game, Kansas City, the fact they're even in that game, turned the ball over 5 times, giving up 21 points off turnovers and still only by 3 points and having a lead late in that game says more about Kansas City. In fact, I'll tell you right now, Kansas City's number 3 on my list here. I am more certain now than I was going into the game that they will win the AFC this year. As long as that home field advantage, I can't see New England or I can't see Pittsburgh walking the Arrowhead and going both with that team. The Kansas City Chiefs are for real. They're at least the best team in the AFC, and I think they put a gap between themselves and the rest of the conference. 4, the Steelers are back. The Steelers are on a roll, and I know they struck against Jacksonville. Big Ben had a horrible game, but look, they found a way to win against a team that kind of owned them last couple of years. The Jaguars beat them twice last year, including that playoff win, a loss rather in the divisional round. So the fact they got that done says a lot about the Steelers. They're back. They're on a roll. 5, the Patriots. We'll see what goes to the Pats. Gronk should be back this week. The Pats are still hanging around as always. So to me, my Super Bowl tiers right now is only 5 teams. Like these are the 5 teams right now I believe are the best teams that I believe will be in a Super Bowl. I don't think anybody else right now are good enough to be in a Super Bowl this year. My Super Bowl tier is now shrunk to 5. It was 7 to 8 before. Now it's 5 teams. Saints, Rams, Chiefs, Steelers, Patriots are my 5 Super Bowl favorites right now that I believe have a chance to, or the best chance to represent their conferences in the Super Bowl this year. Number 6, we got a newcomer. Number 6, we have the Chicago Bears. Which I know my boy G.W. Gross is going to love that, of course. The Bears have been playing some good football. I do believe, and I did it on the podcast with Kyle yesterday, the Bears are now my lock to win the NFC North now with that big win over the Vikings. I think they'll win the NFC North, and that's just that. 7, the LA Chargers with a huge loss to the Denver Broncos this past week. Again, this was a team that I had in my tier, my Super Bowl tier, but that loss. I mean, again, you lose that game to the Chargers, to the Broncos rather, at home. I guess the Broncos team is. I mean, look, they're feisty, but they're not really all that good. And the fact you lose that game, it says more about you than them. And if I'm going to take you guys seriously moving forward, these are games you have to win. Period. To take you seriously. So that's a big loss for the LA Chargers. So that got them number 7. Number 8, the Texans. The Texans have the weirdest 7-game winning streak in the history of football. I don't know how the hell they're doing it, but it's skin their teeth, whatever. But it is what it is. Remember, this team started 0-3. They were 0-3, coming off a loss to the lowly New York Giants, and since then they've won 7 straight games. Say what you will, I don't think they're a Super Bowl team, but I think they're a lock to win the AFC South. Number 9, I'm being, I'll give them a break here because they've looked pretty bad last couple weeks. The Panthers, losing big to Pittsburgh last week, and then this past week here, losing the game they should have won in Detroit, and although they could have had a chance, they were 2 yards to win that game, really, with the missed 2-point conversion in that game against the Detroit Lions, but again, got to close the deal, and the Panthers have lost 2 straight since then. Number 10, of course, is the team I think is in a look. They're not a Super Bowl team, obviously, but this team is becoming more and more scarier because the quarterback, of course, that's Indianapolis Colts and Andrew Luck. The Colts right now are a top 10 team, the way they're playing now, especially. And I said to everybody before this past week, the winner of that game between them and the Titans on Sunday, I believe, will get that 6th wildcard spot in the AFC playoff race. And I think right now, if you ask right now, I don't think they'll lock, but I think if you ask right now who would be that 6th wildcard team, because obviously the Chargers will get the 5th seed in the AFC. I think the Indianapolis Colts will be the next wildcard team in the AFC going forward. I don't trust Baltimore. I don't trust the Dolphins. I don't trust the Bengals. Obviously, all the injuries they got going on, and certainly any team in the Titans, of course, I don't trust either. So I think the Indianapolis Colts are going to be the 6th seed in AFC right now. Well, it puts a lock, no, because a lot of football we play going forward, but the Colts are going in the right direction. That's simple. Now, Andrew Luck, I'm just discussing the Colts and their playoff chances and why I think they will get in my opinion. Andrew Luck's MVP campaign has got to start. Up to this point, nobody's discussed him at all. When we talk about MVPs, we discussed the following. We discussed Pat Mahomes, deserving, of course. Drew Brees, deserving, of course. Todd Gurley, of course, deserving. We even mentioned Tom Brady. We even mentioned Aaron Rodgers. Nobody's discussed Andrew Luck. Andrew Luck has had a phenomenal year. Okay, with a bad team. This was already understood come to the year to be a rebuilding season for the Indianapolis Colts. And remember the rhetoric coming to the year. How will Andrew Luck look with the bum shoulder? He hasn't played over a year. How will he look? Well, he through 11 games, through 11 weeks, he's thrown for almost 2,100 yards, 29 touchdowns, 9 picks, and has a 102 QB rating right now, heading to week 12. Okay, with a team that's really not that good. The best weapon is probably T.Y. Hilton, who's he's probably a top 20 receiver, maybe top 15, if that. And that's a stretch, really, think about it. What Luck is doing this year is incredible, okay? And gotta give offensive line credit also, too. By the way, you talk about draft picks and best draft picks of the year so far. I mean, we look at Saquon Barkley, and obviously that's a good pick for the Giants. But the lineman the Colts got, Quentin Nelson, might be the best pick of the year. I mean, look, it's not sexy because he's an offensive lineman, but the best pick of the year might be Quentin Nelson. And that's not even hyperbole. So Andrew Luck really, I think now after this week, the Colts are 5-5 and in the thick of things down in the AFC wildcard race, and who knows, maybe the Texans slip up a little bit, and they may catch the Texans for the AFC North, South rather. You know. But if I'm doing rankings right now through week 11, going to week 12, and now MVP rankings top 5, I think Andrew Luck's having that race. I mean, right now you got Brees in there, obviously Mahomes, and I think Luck is right behind those guys. And I think if the Colts actually run this table and actually make the playoffs this year, I think there's a strong case we made for Andrew Luck to win MVP. Now, Drew Brees is having a phenomenal, historical great year. So maybe Brees still gets that because of that fact, and I won't knock him for that because Drew Brees and the Saints have been phenomenal this year. I'm not going to knock that. But Andrew Luck, what he's doing with this team was just 1-5 4 weeks ago. Okay, and this is rebuilding. And by the way, even at 1-5, I was saying he was luck of the year. Now 5-5, and in the thick things in the playoff race, Luck has to get some love. He's got some love. All right, so playoff rankings are out. Actually, you know what? Actually, you know what? Let's go to my Thanksgiving Day gambling picks. 3 games tomorrow. I won't do a show tomorrow because I'm with my family all day. We got a lot of things going on here at home, and then with my family out. Other family I have down in Fort Lauderdale. But my gambling picks this week. 3 games for Thanksgiving. I'm not sure to be my best bets yet. I haven't decided yet. I might put on some on Twitter later on because I haven't had a chance to do the entire slate of games. This, I'll have that going tonight with Zach Degenerate when we do our podcast with our Week 12 picks. Here are my picks here's my gambling picks for Week 12 for Thanksgiving. I like the over on the Bears and Lions. I love the over at 44.5. Okay, I think to be a little, not to be high scoring, but I can see a 27-24, 24-21 type of game. Something like that. I like the over on the Cowboys and Redskins. Yes, I know Colt McCoy starting quarterback this week for the Redskins over Alex Smith, who's broke his leg. That's what I hear. By the way, best wishes to Alex Smith and his family. Hope he recovers next year. Good dude, obviously. Great player. But I like the over this week on Redskins and Cowboys. And, this might shock some people here, I like this Falcons plus 13 tomorrow night against the New Orleans Saints. I think the Saints have been so dominant the last 2 weeks. You got to figure a letdown maybe a little bit. I'm not saying the Saints are going to lose this game. I'm just saying divisional game. Falcons are still pretty dangerous when they want to be. I can see this being maybe a 10-point game, maybe if the Saints win a 10-point game. But 13's a lot of points for a divisional game against the Falcons team. That's kind of, even though they're having a bad year, they're still kind of dangerous still. So give me plus 13 Atlanta against New Orleans. So again, the over on the Lions and Bears. I like the over on Redskins Cowboys. And the Atlanta Falcons plus 13 over New Orleans Saints. That game be a little bit closer than I think Vegas has it out there. This is my opinion. It's actually one of the most underrated rivalries in football. It really is. No one talks about the Saints. No one talks about Saints Falcons as a rivalry on a national level, but regionally, it's actually a big time rivalry regionally anyway. All right, college football rankings are out. Top 4, same as they've been the last couple weeks. Same. Again, they're copying me because I have the same 4. And by the way, I released my rankings right after Saturday, so they don't have they copy me, of course. So again, Bama, Clemson, Notre Dame, Michigan 1 through 4 in order. Mine's 2. No problem with that. Georgia at 5. I have no problem with either. They'll be playing. Obviously, you still have the big matchup. They have Alabama in the title game. Oklahoma at 6. Don't play defense, of course, but we'll see what happens there. 7 LSU. And I think the only reason LSU is getting love here is because LSU has had a somewhat tough schedule in comparison to other schools. So that, look, LSU, I don't think LSU has any chance of getting the national championship game. I think if anything, Ohio State will have a bigger case to be made, I would say, by the time things are said and done. But LSU, I think, might be the just in case things fall apart between now and championship weekend. But I don't see anything happening. Washington State at number 8, of course. 9, UCF. Here's a shocker here. UCF and Ohio State swap places. The committee put UCF ahead of Ohio State. That's shocking. That tells me that either A, the committee is hiding something, or B, the committee really does not like Ohio State this year. Because even though they're 10-1, it actually might be one of the most ugliest 10-1 seasons we've seen by a top tier school in quite a while. But again, I still think UCF. It sucks for them because they don't have any big Power 5 wins under their belt really. Oh, significant ones should I say for that matter. And Ohio State beats Michigan. The question you got to ask yourself is this: Ohio State beat Michigan this week, which, by the way, as a guy who likes Michigan, who's rooting for Michigan in this game, I don't feel good about that game. How much wins is that worth for Ohio State? Do you see Ohio State jumping up to number 5, or even cracking the top 4? That depends on Georgia and Oklahoma, obviously, this week. Oklahoma has to play West Virginia this week. Tough game there in the Big 12. There's still chaos to be made here, and the chaos can happen. Look, I don't think Alabama will lose to Auburn. Auburn's done for the year. It is what it is. The chaos can come either if A, Clemson loses between now and next 2 weeks, or Michigan loses to Ohio State, which actually is it. To be honest with you, as well as Michigan's played this year, as bad as Ohio State's played this year, I still don't have a good feeling about the game. Ohio State always seems to surprise folks when you just when you write off Ohio State, you start to they do something you don't expect. So I would not, even though I'm not a big Urban Meyer guy, I would still be very wary of Ohio State this weekend. Michigan, if they want to be taken seriously, they got to take care of business this weekend against Ohio State, put them down for good. Just that simple. Quick reaction on the Wizards and the drama in Washington. I've been on the record saying for years, blow it up. I'm not a John Wall guy personally. John Wall is a very good player, a bit overvalued. His big extension he signed last year only kicks in this year. Blow it up. To be honest with you, Bradley Beal has better trade value to me than John Wall. John Wall does not have the optics, I think, of a guy that teams really crave. Big contract, number one. Bit of a big head, also, too. As a Heat fan, personally, if I had a choice between the two, even Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal can shoot the ball. I guess a little more calmer demeanor, also, too. He's a little more coachable. Give me Bradley Beal any day of the week. Any day of the week. So, that drama in Washington, I know they won. I know they came back and won last night against the Clippers. Big win for them. But I think I've been saying already for the last 2 years that was long overdue. Breaking up Bradley Beal with John Wall, and you obviously got Otto Porter overpaid and a couple of players overpaid in that roster. That is a team that's underachieved to a high level. It's not even funny anymore. It's not even funny anymore. All right, let me get some water here quick. Finally, I meant to do this last week because I saw the movie last Tuesday. You guys know, some of you guys know that follow me on social media. Big Queen fan, big time Queen fan, big Freddie Mercury fan in general. And I meant to do a review on here last week, but again, we haven't done a show on this platform in over a week. So, and I'll say this much about Bohemian Rhapsody, the movie. If you're a casual Queen fan, if you're a casual fan that likes the music, and don't do really big deep dives into the lives and into even the catalog to some degree, you'll love this movie. It's a great movie from a storytelling perspective, of course. It was told very well. I thought the music they did, the way they portrayed Live Aid, the entire set was great. I thought the typecasting was great. In fact, people say Freddie Mercury was dead on. I think the bass player John Dreyer was actually even more of a better typecast than Freddie Mercury. They typecasted Brian May pretty well, the guitar player as well. Not so much on Roger and the drummer personally, but that's just my opinion. But the typecasting in general was done very well for most of the characters in the movie. So storytelling wise was great. Typecasting was really, really solid. They did well. They kept it about the music for the most part. I mean, and that was the intent anyway. And some of my disappointments in the movie more so mirrors what they intended to do anyway. First off, the movie ends. I don't want to get any spoilers here, of course, but the movie ends obviously at Live Aid in 1985. That the concert that pretty much saved that, pretty much extended that band's life for a couple more years before Freddie passed away in 1991. But there's a lot of inaccuracies in the movie, and this is the thing about being a diehard fan. Like if you're a casual fan that really don't do deep dives into the band, deep dives into any artist, whatever, that's one thing. I'm a big time Queen fan, big time. So I know a lot about Freddie Mercury's life beyond just what you see on on television. I've actually done some deep dives into some documentaries and articles and all that through the years. I find Freddie Mercury to be a very fascinating individual. I don't like the fact that and again I know why they did this, but I don't like the fact that they ended the movie and all that at 85 at Live Aid, because there was still more material Queen did after that. Queen, released 3 more records. Freddie released 2 solo records. He released an opera record, and there's a lot. To me, I find Freddie Mercury's last 6 years of his life, between 85, 86, and 91, just as, if not more fascinating than even the first 15 years of the band. How he got the disease, the speculation, what year, when did he find out? In the movie, it's shown that he found out he had the disease, or he got the HIV virus before Live Aid. But what's been told for years is that he didn't find out till 1987. It was just 2 years after Live Aid. Another inaccuracy. When they did "We Will Rock You," when they came up with the "We Will Rock You," when Brian and the band came up with the "We Will Rock You" riff, for example, they were ready in the 80s. Yeah, that song was done in 1977, 78. In fact, if you see the video of "We Will Rock You," Freddie Mercury has long hair still. Whereas in the movie, Freddie, at that point when they were doing the song, had the mustache from the early 80s, as well as the short hair. And that was another inaccurate thing there. Another inaccurate part. The manager that he fired eventually before Live Aid in the movie, that he fired before Live Aid. Again, Live Aid 1985. The manager was actually fired a year after Live Aid in 86. So that was inaccurate also too. So there's a lot of inaccuracies. Like I said, if you're a diehard Queen fan, you'll pick out things here and there, and look, I'm petty, whatever. It is what it is. I'm petty as shit. I don't give a fuck. And there was some inaccuracies there with the movie. But that being said, if you're despite all that, as a product, and making and showing the band and Freddie itself as, as legendary as they are and all that, they did a phenomenal job. I give it an A, of course. I mean, again, this is why people will say, well, what if they did a Michael Jackson movie? Well, that'd be worse, because I'll find every inaccuracy in a movie with on Michael Jackson. Freddie's just as bad for me, but Michael will be worse. But that being said, the movie was good. It was solid. I gave it an A. I wish they were a little more accurate with the timelines, but again, look, nothing can be perfect, of course, and that's just that. Beggars can be choosers, right? So that's just that. Anyway, I think that's it. Anything else I want to touch on here before I go? Any questions, whatever? I'm gonna get out of here. Start preparing for Thanksgiving, of course. My kid's home for the week, so I got to hang out with them all day. Check out Earthshaker Podcast, of course. This podcast, of course, if you can't find this show, watch the show on Periscope, of course. It's on YouTube as well, too. We'll have this, obviously, podcast on the Unfiltered feed. You can find it on Stitcher Radio, Spotify, Google Play, and, of course, iTunes. Earthshaker Podcast, of course, too. We're still rolling some episodes here throughout the week when we're normal. I actually was considering going dark at one point this week, but I decided not to because things worked out, and I love doing this, so it's all good. So, again, I'm on Twitter, EGChristian7, Earthshaker Media, Earthshaker.net. I'll tell you guys later. Love you guys. Kisses, and enjoy Thanksgiving. God bless you guys, and that's it. Love you guys. Take care.